if you missed Sunday's Facebook Live, I basically showed you how to use up some designer series paper that maybe you have left over, especially from some of your holiday designer series paper sets. You know, we always want to use up what we have. And sometimes we get stuck thinking, well, that's Halloween paper or that's fall paper. And really, we can, many of these we can extend beyond those specific holidays or beyond specific occasions. So that's what I did here. I showed people how to make this trifold card. Super easy. Thankful each day for you. But this could be anything. Thinking of you. Just a note. What else? Happy birthday. Anything at all. Then I went on to show people, and this is my sample that I made. Some of the papers are great on one side, but the back side isn't so great for celebrations and occasions and beyond the holiday. So for example, this side is, but the back side of this designer series paper is actually bats. It's black and orange and gray and, you know, and I didn't want Halloween bats showing. So like on this one, we just use the designer series paper. Both sides, we show off both sides that way. On this one, I'm only wanted to use the one side. So my base is actually cardstock. And then I covered parts of it with designer series paper, okay? And I used a die from the layered season, I think it's called Seasonal Layers dies, to get the scallop edge, which is fun. And this is cheers, could be anything for a wedding, graduation, retirement, promotion, anything at all. And then I made a second one. Okay, cheers to the new year. Okay, so if you want to learn how to make those, or if you were with me and want to refresh, you just go back to that video on Stamp and Scrap with Mary Knabe that was dated December 1st. It will be going on my blog within the next week or so. But be sure and take a look at that, because this is one of those cards that looks fussy and hard, and it's not. It's super easy, and it's a great way to use up some of those other, some of the designer series paper sheets that we have left over. Oh, Cindy, I'm reading your comment. Would make a great recipe card with great recipe card gift with a note on the green part. Oh, that is nice. That would be wonderful. What an awesome idea. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, if you're just jumping on, I would sure love it if you could help me out by sharing this page and this video right now. Please share now. You can share after we finished, whenever, but the more shares you do for me, the more it helps me build my business and be able to bring you lots of new good things. So tonight's project, I'm going to be featuring the Night Before Christmas suite in the holiday catalog. And it's on pages, 24, 25, and 26. And I've used some of this before. I showed a bunch of cards I made. We did, what did we do? A trifold card maybe? I can't remember. Some kind of fun fold. So you may be familiar with this already. But today I'm going to focus on the Night Before Christmas memories and more cards. I think our memories and more cards are often overlooked, and yet they are one of the most economical and one of the easiest products to use. And I'll pull that out when I post to my blog, post this video to my blog. I'll be sure and pull up the URL code for you to see the cards we made quite a while back with them. But tonight I'm going to show you a quick and simple way to make a 2-page scrapbook layout. And while I do this, I'm going to be showing you a variety of products and also teaching you a technique. So the featured bundle is Holly Jolly Christmas, and it's got some great dies in here. The stocking, the Santa, and the present coordinate with these. Okay, and then you've got some extras, a little tag. You've got 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly, Santa and the Sleigh, and we are going to be using those three. So I'm going to set those to the side with my Big Shot. As I said, the Holly Jolly Memories and More cards, or Night Before Christmas Memories and More cards. Green paper. Cindy, that paper is part of the Come Together Designer Series paper, which is in the holiday catalog. Okay, I believe it's called Come Together. So I just went through, and believe it or not, what I did was took a whole package of the Memories and More cards, and I divided it into three, and I get all of this. I mean, you get really 2 cards of each, because I wanted to do that, because that way you're getting the front and back of each one. And I'll be using some of these, and I also divided up the stickers. There's 6 sheets of stickers in there, which we may be adding as well. Before I add those to my scrapbook pages, though, I want to show you a simple, easy technique. And that is featuring, and this is using the Pattern Party Decorative Masks. And you'll want to comment a lot. You'll want to share a lot, because after this video, I will be giving away a brand new set of the Pattern Party Decorative Masks. And there's 4 in the set. So I'm using the brick tonight. There's this, I don't know what you even call it, the diamond shape, almost like a, the wedding quilt shape, isn't that? I don't know what it's called. This doily shape. And clouds. And of course that can be used with so many different things. Chrissy, thanks for sharing. So basically what you're going to do with the decorative mask, I'll just tell you what I did here, and then I'll show you the rest. Okay, I'm trying to match it up to the direction I had going here. And I'm not doing very well. I should have paid attention to that when I picked it up to wash it off. Okay, there. Whenever you're working with a decorative mask, I'm going to suggest that you use washi tape, any kind of washi tape, to hold that in place. You'll always get a much nicer, better image when it's held in place. It looks like there's a moon on there. There isn't. That's just the reflection, I guess, right? Yeah, we're going to get that reflection because of the light. It's kind of unavoidable. Okay, well, that's all right. So what I want to show you first of all, though, is that I used my white craft ink. You can purchase a blank or empty ink pad, and then you purchase the white craft ink, and you just fill it up and smear it all over there really good. A lot of times I use a bone folder to get that ink absorbed into the sponge or the foam. Okay, but this is white, and we don't have the craft ink in other colors. Okay, now, and I told you we're doing a scrapbook layout. So this was my idea, that I was going to have some brick in the top right and the bottom left corners. Now when I pulled those out and finished, and I was kind of playing with the cards, I realized, oh, and it's dried, so it's not, this is more white than I really want it. It's a great white, but sounds like a great white whale. But it's much brighter than I wanted it, and there's so much of the vanilla color in the Memories and More cards that I'm going to be using. So I want to show you, and I hope you can see the difference here in these. Can you tell that one is a brighter white than the other? Can you see that? Okay. So what I did was, after I had the bright white, and this does take, crafting does take a little while to dry. So when you're working on it, just be aware of that because it's easy to get on your fingers. Wendy, you're right. The one on the right is just a little bit brighter. Okay. But you'll just want to be aware that if you get this on your fingers, what I do is I just wipe it in my Simply Chamois. Okay. And then, and it'll come right off and you continue working. But otherwise, if I'm handling this, I'm going to get the smudges of the crafting everywhere. So I just put this right up to my corner, added a little washi tape in a couple of places. Oh, I'm not sure you're seeing this. Let me move it up. Is that better? It's hard to catch these things sometimes because of the delay between what I'm doing and what you're seeing. Also, a little tip, just like masking tape or anything, any kind of tape, fold over the little edge. It makes it so much easier to pull off the tape the next time you use it. Okay, I'm going to just go this way a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to show you the same procedure that I started with. I had my white craft ink and a clean sponge dauber. And once I use this in the white craft ink, I'll just rinse it out, wash it out, but then I'll mark on here that that's what it is and store it with that because it is a very different type of ink. But I just went along and dabbed until I had all of this covered. Okay, and you'll be able to see, since I'm adding a second layer, that it's getting a little darker, a little whiter. So I might as well spread it around. You don't have to be exact on any of these stencils. That's kind of the way stenciling is. You get some variations in color. If you are very specific and you don't want a lot of the variation in color, you just simply keep going back over it with the same color. Okay. Have anybody ever used these masks? Okay. Now, typically before I switch colors, I would run into my bathroom and wash this off. And you might think, ugh, that's going to be a mess. No, I put it in the bathroom sink. I put soft soap in my hand, did this over running water. Within seconds, it was clean. I dried it off with a towel. Super easy. But because I have two sets, I'm going to pull one out from the set I'm giving away, just for the sake of time. You don't need to sit here while I run in the other room and wash that off. I'm going to pull out the one from the second set. And I'll show you now how I was able to get a little bit darker color. Okay, I'm just putting the mask exactly where it was before. I'm coming in with, I used crumb cake, but I would actually, well, let's start with crumb cake. So what I'm going to do is, and you're going to ask me about this, I know. You see this lighter shade here, looks kind of white. You're going to ask me about that, but I'm going to show you. Okay, so I'm just going to go over what I already stenciled. Okay, I'm going to have my Simply Chamois handy, and I'm just going to dab this in there. Okay, and that will take off a good amount of that white that I might be picking up, the craft white. Can you see that? I'm not getting so much in here. This was when I did not use my Simply Chamois. I ended up with a lot of white craft ink in there. Not a huge problem because these are water-based I can wash out the whole foam of the ink pad and reapply inker. But why do extra work if you don't have to, right? So I'm just going to add some of this crumb cake ink over the top. When I'm ready to re-ink it, I'm going to go to my Simply Chamois first. Okay. Now, the other one that I already did that on, you can see was not quite as bright white. I hope I did the right one. Okay. And we're matching some of that up. Now I'm going to bring in a third color. I'm going to bring in some of this. I'm trying to decide if I want to go soft suede or early espresso. I don't want to go too terribly dark. And I'm going to get the coordinating sponge dauber. You're going to ask me where this came from, and honestly, I don't know. I believe it was my friend Debbie Price. I can find out from her, but she ordered them for a group of us way back. But it sure is handy. So I'm just going to put in some of that early espresso ink going over this. And you know how bricks look, right? No two are the same. They have a variations in color, and can even show different colors within each brick. Some more of a terracotta or tans, what have you. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for the sake of time and show you what I have. Alrighty. Move these ink pads out of the way and the daubers. Okay, so again, you can even see there's quite a difference. Okay. And I might want to go back and redo this one, but for the sake of time, we're going to continue on making the two-page scrapbook layout. Okay. So I'm going to put this one here. You know, I'm really not going to like that until I do it, but that's okay. I'll just not adhere everything down. So I'm going to start, it's just for me in this setting. It's a little more cramped than I'd be working in if I were working elsewhere or on a big table, you know, at a crop or something, or in my basement. I knew for sure that I wanted to use this card on here. Okay. And then there are several others that I think would just make this a very nice scrapbook layout. So we're going to play with some of these. Okay. On this one, I really do want it to pop. So I'm going to, and I'll probably do this on some of the cards, other cards as well. I want to put a layer of cardstock behind it just to help it punch off the, you know, stand out, give it a little, make it a little more, what do I want to say, obvious, or make it stand out a little bit more. And this card is 4x6. I'll double check. Yes, 4x6. Okay, so I'm going to go a 1/4 inch larger. Pull this arm out, and here is my 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So real easy measurements to work with too, because all of the Memories and More cards are either 3 by 4 like this, 3x4 or 4x6. And they are both vertical and horizontal, okay? A lot of versatility in these. I'm going to stick this on. And what I like to do when I am designing scrapbook pages or layouts, I just kind of like to place things first. I don't want to stick anything down just yet. Okay, I really love this. To Santa, the North Pole, and I'm going to use some old olive for this. Yes. So I need this piece to be 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 because it's the smaller card. Oh, perfect, 3 1/4. Whoops, it's this one. You can see that both sides of the card are so nice. Ladies, don't forget to show me some thumbs up and hearts if you're seeing things you like. I love comments, I love questions, and your comments and questions will get you added into the drawing for a set of the Pattern Party decorative masks after tonight's live, okay? Now I'm even thinking this one, I might want to brighten it up by putting it on. Okay, that's Mossy Meadow. Yeah, I think I'll put it on that. So I'm going to do 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Do you see how I work? I just kind of get some ideas and move along. And that is 4 1/2, I believe. Okay. So I'm actually putting 2 layers under this Memories and More card. Okay, so I've got that. I love the To Santa. How about something for the other page? So many good choices. I don't know what to do. These are pretty, aren't they? I really don't need to be flipping these over because I can see there's 2 of each, so I can see it. Oh, I like the ho 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 too. Okay, and there's my stickers, and there's the North Pole. Okay, I'm going to go with these, I think. Okay, I might still use this one. Let me decide on that. Okay, this I definitely want to use, and I do know I want to mat this on the Mossy Meadow cardstock also. That's a 3x4, so I need 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to go this way. That's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. I considered not doing a Facebook Live tonight, just skipping it because of all the things I have to do and whatever get done before I go to work tomorrow morning. But I don't like it when I miss. I just don't. I feel like I let people down when I have to miss. And life does get in the way sometimes, but the other thing is I just really enjoy this. This is one part of my business that I really, really enjoy doing a lot. These Facebook Lives. So I'm going to pop this one up on the Very Vanilla, bring out some of that from the trim there and help that message kind of pop out, or stand out, I should say. Not really pop out. Shar, thanks for joining me, and thank you so much for sharing. That is so very helpful. My numbers are continuing to grow. Sometimes the pace is slow, but you know, I'm headed in the right direction. Things are steady, so that's a good thing. Okay. All right. Now, I don't want to put so much on here that I'm filling up all the pages. Okay. That's cute too. North Pole Express. Oh, so many cute ones, but I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Now, as I was saying, I don't want to put so many of the finished cards on here that there isn't room for photos. We definitely want room for photos and, for journaling. So I'm going to pull a few things out. This is a 4x4 square. Kind of like that here, I think. And you can pull from any of the colors in here. You can do some more monochromatic things, or you can get a little wild and do lots and lots of color. I tend to limit myself to maybe 3 colors, sometimes 4. And you can tell when it's just right or when it's just too much. Oops. Scoring instead of cutting. And I'm going to make this. I'm making this 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but right here, it has marked the, it has a 16 for 16 centimeters for people outside the US that use the metric system. But it also marks the 1/4 inch. So I can see in this little groove here and know that that's the 6 1/4 inch mark. And then you go on to 6 1/2 and back on, okay? So the only mark you're missing that's not visible with a white background is that 6 1/4, but it is marked. It's carved into the plastic, I'll say. Okay, so if you're not aware of that, you are now. Okay. You know what? I think I actually want, because I'm mounting these on the 1/4 inch, 4 1/4, 6 1/4, I'm going to do the same for these blank pieces where I might feature photos or, or some journaling. You know, maybe a ticket if you, for some example on this page, if you would take the child to the, see Santa on the train and have a ticket. That's something you could add on here as well. That would be a lot of fun. I always enjoyed keeping those kinds of things for my kids. All right. So can you see where I'm going with this? Okay. Pretty easy, right? I think we can use a little of the vanilla there. This should be 4 1/4. I gotta keep pulling this out. Or I could just subtract, right? 8 1/2 inches wide by 6 1/4. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what do you think? How's it looking to you? Marilyn says she likes it. Jeannie, thanks for joining. Marilyn, I'm glad to have you tonight. You ladies are awesome. I appreciate you being here so much. We are all busy, but it is so important for us to take time to do things for ourselves. So I'm really glad you're here. Okay, you guys like it? Now, I'm not sure about this blank spot, but I did tell you, and I'm just going to carefully lift these up because they're not adhered yet. Oh, something I thought of too. Well, I'll do that in a minute because I want to show you something else too. I told you I'd be using some of the dies. And I've got my cardstock stuff ready here. Okay. And I'm going to try and cut out a few of these at once. And I'm actually going to be cutting out the words twice, once on Mossy Meadow and once on Old Olive, and I'll show you why. Okay, now there are a lot of details in each of these dies. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that you go back through and back and forth one more time. Oh, sure, thank you. You guys are amazing. Amelia, I'm glad you love it. Marilyn, you and I are thinking alike, those stars. Okay, so this looks like it cut out pretty well. So for that, I don't need the tool I was going to show you, but I'll show it to you in a bit. Okay, and then I'm pulling off the words. These new dies, since we started, you're right, Marilyn, I want to make a shadow with the words. Don't lose that, Mary. And for die cut things like this that are so detailed, I would highly recommend that you use the fine tip glue pen. Okay, that's my favorite. Or you can use the multi-purpose glue and dot it on. Okay, let me set this aside. I'm going to cut the words out one more time. Also remember, when you're die cutting, we tend to always put things in the middle. You saw me do it, didn't you? Okay. Some pizzazz. Is that what you're saying, Janie? It needs some pizzazz. Give it a little more pizzazz. Okay. All right. I was trying to leave these here, and because I want to show you this new tool I got. Okay. You all know how much I love my take your pick tool, right? But did you know that when we use this putty end to pick up rhinestones and little things, even tiny letters, things like that, this putty will eventually run out. Not very quickly, but it will run out. And it does come with 2 putty ends when you buy this for $10, okay? But you can buy the replacement putty ends. Okay, and grab a scissors. And you would just buy 2 more replacements. Simple, right? But like I said, I haven't even gotten into these yet, and I've had my take your pick tool for a long time. I am on the second of the 2 putty tips that it comes with. But I just added this nifty thing. You know, we used to have that die brush, the Big Shot die brush, and it was a little bit cumbersome with its handle and storing and that sort of thing. Well, now we have this attachment to go with our take your pick tool. It comes with 2 sponges and it comes with this brush attachment. So I'm going to show you how this works. And you would take off your putty end and then screw this right in. And what this does is, I don't need both of these. what this does is, and typically you use it with the dies still on, it is not meant to remove the actual lettering. What it's meant to do is get rid of all these little negative spaces, these tiny little pieces that will get thrown away. And you just, and I tend to go in the same direction, okay? But that's what this does. And I'm not going to do it fully just because we're in a little bit of a hurry here. And I'll give you another tip for getting out these little pieces. Because sometimes it might be just, you know, just one little piece you're trying to get out. Oh, I should have cut that a little bit better. Another thing I do to get out these pieces, whoops, is sometimes I'll just bend it a little bit and they pop out and you can pull them off. Those aren't cut really well. And in that case, I just use my pointy tip here. Okay? Which is kind of the old style way, poking like that. But sometimes some of them are so small that you can actually get them better this way. Okay? This has one little spot that didn't cut well, and I should have trimmed it with my paper snips first. I really should have taken a look before I pulled it off the Big Shot. If you flip it over, you'll be able to tell on the back side if it's cut all the way. All right. And then you can do it gently with this, but since this is just the cardstock without the die, you know, you want to be gentle, and it gets most of them out. Anything else, you can just take a quick poke, and that's done. There are just a couple little ones here. Okay, so I was excited. You know, it's fun to get new tools, so thank you for indulging me with that. Okay, oh, I missed the sleigh. There's some tiny pieces on that sleigh. And on this one, this is one that I definitely wanted to use the piercing tool for, because these pieces are so teeny tiny instead of using the brush. A lot of times I want to use the brush when the die cuts are a little bit larger images, but still have lots of those little pieces. Okay, I think that's all of them, isn't it? Okay, so let's add these to our layout, scrapbook layout. Okay, I'm going to bring this back in, and I have a thought, but we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so my thought is, and you tell me what you think. Okay, so my thought is, and I'll give you a chance to chime in here, either kind of going over the Christmas tree like that, or maybe putting it over here just so it shows up a little bit better. Okay, my other thought is putting it over here, but because I have this big Santa, I think I really want it on the right layout, the right page of the layout. So what do you think? Here on the very vanilla, or do you think it's better going on the brick somehow? You tell me. Adorable. You are right, Cindy. Those little deer are adorable. Okay, so while I'm waiting for you to comment on that, I'm going to put my 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly layers together. And I'm doing this on top of the, okay, now I just forgot the name of this. It'll come to me. It'll come to me, but it's the best little tool and so nice when you're working. It even works with hot glue. You can do your gluing on here, and then Mary Lou, you think it should be on the Very Vanilla. Marilyn Scorker agrees with you. But when you're working on here, you don't have to worry about the glue sticking everywhere. Even hot glue. You can put a dollop of hot glue on here. When it's dry, you can peel it right off. And I still can't think of the name of it. If one of you knows, go ahead and put in the comments. Okay, and I am using this fine tip glue, and this fine tip glue goes a long way. A little goes a long way. Truthfully, I always like to give it a little start, so I'm going to do it inside my trash bag here. I like to get it started. Okay, and hold it upside down after I start it so there's no little air bubbles coming out. But I really just want to dot it along here. It doesn't need to be everywhere, because that little bit does go a long way. Okay. And when I layer it on top of the mossy meadow, put the old olive on top of the mossy meadow, I'm going to offset it just a bit so we get that shadow look to it. Just very slightly. If you go too much, it almost looks, I don't know, how would you, sloppy, messy. And you got to play with it a little bit because these are so fine and so detailed. But just take your time and be patient, and all will be well. Now, when I use the fine tip glue, what I like to do afterwards is flip it upside down, and you can even use a piece of scrap paper. Okay. And let's see how we did. Oh, nice. Can you see it there? Okay, I like that. And I think I'm going to like how it looks over here on this corner. So let's go ahead and do To Be Jolly. Doing it the same way, just adding some dots of this fine tip glue pen. Have any of you ever used the Memories and More cards? And if you have, how did you use them? Did you use them in the pocket page albums? Or did you make cards from them? Did you make scrapbook pages? Can't see the reindeer very well on the brick wall. Okay, I agree. Then I'll definitely put it on the Very Vanilla, because I do want it to pop out. Or stand out. Why do I keep saying pop out? You know what I mean. You know, when I'm doing these Facebook Lives, I get such wonderful comments. I love hearing your thoughts on the creative process. And because I love that so much, you know, it's fun for me. I learn too. I would love for you all to start sharing. Joan, you used it with the pocket pages. Wonderful. I would love for you all to start sharing some of your own work. I think a lot of people are shy to do that. Like, oh, I'm not that good. Or we all feel that way. Okay? We all feel that way. It's a little, you know, a little bit scary to put ourselves out there sometimes. But honestly, that's what crafting is all about. Just having fun and sharing it with each other and getting ideas from each other. So I would love to see a lot of sharing from all of you on both my business page here, Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe, as well as the VIP group. And I've got some plans in the works for 2020. And I'm working on some monthly challenges. I want to close this up. You all know that when you close this, you need to get that needle into the tube. And you do want to do it right away, because That tube is so fine, you don't need a clog in there. If you do get a clog, heat the tip, the metal tip, take the top off and heat that metal tip with our heat tool, and that will loosen up some of that glue, and then you should be able to get it through, okay? All right, should we start adhering? I'm hearing that you like the Santa and reindeer on the vanilla. Did I miss any other things? Many of you have used pocket pages. Wonderful. Okay. And honestly, again, these cards are so affordable. So affordable. $10 for that packet. And I mean, this is, maybe a tenth of what's in there. So definitely very affordable. Okay. Oh, I should show you my tip while I'm adhering. So what I like to do for my scrapbook layouts is kind of just lay everything out, take a good look at it. I don't think I want that all the way on the brick. Okay. I think like that. Okay. I'm deciding, should I? Okay. So what I like to do is, just in case things move a little bit or I change my mind, what I typically do is hold this in place and just put a teeny tiny bit of adhesive back there. Okay, so I might do that. Okay, I might do it with this one too. Make sure I have my spacing the way I want it. Okay, because if it was off, if I wanted to change my spacing or move things around, look how easy it is to pull off, and just kind of pull it off at an angle, and it doesn't damage your cardstock or anything. Okay, so that's my little layout tip. I use that tip too when I'm making collages. And then once you have them in place, you just lift it, maybe lift opposite corners. I don't know if you guys are seeing that in my screen. Lift opposite corners and put some adhesive down. And I'm going to be honest and say I don't go crazy with adhesive. I have not had a problem with my pages falling apart. So I honestly, I don't overdo it. I'll say it that way. I don't overdo it with the adhesive. Certainly you do what's comfortable for you, but I trust the adhesives that I'm using. I'll say it that way. Do any of you use dimensionals on your scrapbook layouts? I do occasionally. And I think I'm going to use them on this Christmas tree. Okay, we'll be finishing up real soon here. Okay, I'm just going to pull a little bit of my Tombow glue out. And same thing with Tombow, it goes a long way. So I like to just make some little dots. Can you see that okay, I hope? But on any of these liquid glues that we sell, the fine tip glue pen or the multi-purpose glue, some people refer to it as green glue simply because it has green on its container. But on both of those, a little goes a long way. Just remember that. Little goes a long way on those. Ooh, I like this Santa and reindeer. Ooh, I like it a lot. Yay! I love it when things turn out even better than you pictured, which I think often is the time, what happens. Oftentimes that's what happens when we're creating. Okay, I'm going to start by laying my Santa down. And this is good and dry now, but remember, if you are working with the craft ink, it's kind of tacky. It feels different. It is not water-based like our others. So it does need time to dry. You could also go in and use your heat tool to speed up the drying if you want. Usually I have so many projects going on, that's not an issue for me. Oh, sad, isn't it? No, it's not. That's a good problem to have. I'm looking forward to 2020. I'm going to be trying some new things. And I'm hoping to build up my business here in Columbus, Ohio area since I moved a year ago. You know what? I think I'm going to pop this guy up too. How many of you have used decorative masks? And from the short presentation, or demonstration I should say, of the decorative masks, would you be willing to use them and give them a try? Okay, and last but not least, I want to put my words on. Ooh, I'm excited about this. Yay! And I'm just going to use my fine tip glue again. Oops, that's kind of a big dot. Let me spread that out. It's bigger than I wanted it. It's a little tricky on these really thin letters. But isn't it wonderful that we have a fine tip glue like that? You can always use tweezers to pick this up too. Flip it over. Stick it right about there. Okay. And I'll add the To Be Jolly. Remember too, if something, you know, maybe if like the T is popping up there a little bit, you're going to put your scrapbook pages in a plastic protector, and that's going to hold things down. So I wouldn't worry about going in and putting more glue back there in that little spot. Ooh, I like this. My glue's a little off there. Oh, Marilyn, I would love it if you made one too. And there's so many fun cards to play with. So many fun cards to play with. Okay, so this is my scrapbook layout for today. You learned a new technique using decorative masks and the craft ink. And you also learned how to add some color to the craft ink. Okay. And what else? We talked about the take your pick tool and the fact that you can buy putty refills, and we have that wonderful, oh, I just got ink on me, picking up that mask. So this is what I do. I picked up that mask where I had early espresso, and it wasn't washed off yet, but I just wanted to show you. Okay, so this is what I use, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the cards. And what an impact it makes. Okay, and here are some of the other cards. That's cute. There's some that are more plain background like. Some of these you could even cut out like just the present and use that as an embellishment somewhere along your, here's that one. And what else? There's Jingle All the Way and the reverse side of that. So yes, think of it. You could make a whole scrapbook. Whole Christmas scrapbook, maybe year after year, that kind of thing. Oh, I lost the picture. Hold on. All right. Now, the last thing I have that goes with the Memories and More card pack is these stickers. And I love them. Okay. Isn't this cute? Santa, please stop here. That's so cute. All right. I'm going to pull off this Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. Okay. And I'm just going to put it right up here. Let's see, I'm not sure. Not sure if it's too busy up there with the other words. I think I'll put it, and it's too close to that. I think I'm going to put the sticker right over here. A lot of times I like some of those embellishments to be going off of, you see that? Off of the card or the main piece. What else is here? Santa's reindeer. How about adding this in? Let's see where we can do. Okay, I like the holly and berries right here. Okay, there are stars that I could add here as well. Of course, little presents. I love that these have the postage stamp, you know what I'm trying to say, the postage stamp thingy edge, postage stamp edge around. Okay, so these are fun. These would be great to make little gift tags with also. And I really think that's about it. What do you think? Okay, let's see if it's hard to get these both in here together. So here's my right and then my left page. Okay. These could even be used separately. You could put them in a frame. One could, you know, this could be the title page of your scrapbook, and this could just be another page, regular page. Okay. Oh, Marilyn, you wanted to see the reindeer on the wall. Okay. All right. Well, Marilyn, I would love for you to make it just like you said. I'd love for all of you to make something with these. I can show you really quickly, and our time is up, and I've got a lot to do tonight. Here are, I mentioned that I did a Facebook Live with these Night Before Christmas Memories and More cards quite a while back, and I showed you lots of different cards that I made, and I will post the link to that. But I also made these two collages. There's one. This is kind of fun because, and these are just, you know, 3 of the 4x6 rectangles. Didn't do anything to them. Couple of stickers. And this, I actually cut these, one of the hats, one of the Santa hats from a 3x4 card. This is what the 3x4 card looks like. And then I cut from another card just like it. I cut the brim and the ball of the hat. Okay, the cuff and that ball, and pop those up on dimensionals. Can you see that? Can't tell with the delay here, but it is popped up on dimensionals, and then it's got the extra layer. And then this is the other collage I made. And I use this 2 4x6 cards and then 4 3x4s, and I punched this from a 3x4 as well. You can see I added some of the stickers. Alrighty, so there you are. I hope you enjoyed tonight's demonstration. I hope you enjoyed creating this 2-page scrapbook layout with me, and I really hope you enjoyed learning the new technique using the what did I call them? Something masks. Where's my decorative masks, and this collection is the Pattern Party decorative mask. There is another set, a different set that is in the holiday catalog as well, which is also very fun. Okay, oh, one thing I forgot. How about some of these stars from the stars are left over from the Most Wonderful Time product medley. Okay, where's my little topper here? Here it is. Okay. And I'm just going to put a few randomly on top of the some of the stars that are already surrounding our Santa. Do you think 3 is enough, or do I need 5? I think 3 is enough there. I don't like to overdo. And I am going to put one right here at the top of my Christmas tree. There is one printed, but I like this embellished one. It stands up. Oh, thank you, Shar. I did have a fun evening, and I'm glad you did too. Wendy, Joyce, Marilyn, Mary Lou, all of you, thank you for being here with me tonight. I appreciate you, and I enjoy creating with you. You'll want to take a look at the at my website, maryknabe.stampinup.net, because the year-end closeout is happening right now. There is a list there. I also put it on my blog today, Stampin' Peace. Okay. There is a list that's out that tells you what items are going to be going away. And the way this works is the items on the list are on a while supplies last basis until January 2nd. So if something sells out next week, it's done. You won't see any more before January 2nd. If another product that we have is still around on January 2nd, you can buy it January 2nd, but January 3rd, it's gone. So it's while supplies last or January 2nd, whichever comes first. And every year I have somebody come to me and say, oh, I wish I had bought. Do you have it to sell? And my answer is no. We, number one, we're not allowed to buy inventory of punches and stamps and all that. There are certain, we have limits. There are certain things we are allowed to cash and carry, but obviously stamp sets, dies, those things are not included in that. So if there's something you really, really want, I would encourage you to buy it sooner rather than later if it's on that list. Have a great week. I will not be doing my Facebook Live on Thursday. I will be in Cincinnati for stamp classes, and then visiting a family friend who had surgery recently, and then heading back home to Columbus. But I do plan to do my next one Sunday at 7 p.m. I've already been working on the projects for that. So hope to see you then. Have a great week. If I can help you with any of your Stampin' Up! Needs between now and the next time I see you, please call me. Call me, email me, message me, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Good night, ladies.